My goodness. If it's not being here, I don't know where else you'd be. This right here is your evening dose of tea and a lot more. This is Let's Talk. My name is Monique Betts.
And my name is Dana DeGrazia. Welcome to the week, guys.
And my name is Glamour Pam. Happy Wednesday.
Yes.
Feels good to be back here.
Yes,
It always feels good to be back. You know, obviously, as everyone who's watching knows, a lot has been going on.
Yeah.
But we're going to start the show off on a really good note, you know, get everyone's spirits kind of up. Before we begin back into Hot Talk, though, we want to give a shout out to Lydia. Sorry you're not at the table. We miss you, girl. She's dealing with her own stuff, but just so you know, she is okay, people.
Yeah.
So now we're going to take it to the streets with Hot Talk.
Yes, let's kick it in.
Girl, this is what you need. Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Let's talk.
Oh.
As we've said, it's been quite a week, and it's all about the attitude of gratitude. So, you know, it's the little things that you tend to appreciate. But speaking of little things, it can get really petty. And I'm talking about Kylie Jenner, who is making headlines simply because an egg overtook the popularity of her own pictures on her social media. So if that doesn't make sense to you, I know a lot of millennials feel like, oh my goodness, I need to have enough likes. Some people would even take their post down if people do not like
it.
their pictures. So I would call this the idolization of social media and the need to be relevant. First of all, if I would talk to Kylie, I'd tell her, girl, you are popular, you are loved.
Better
it doesn't
than an
even,
egg.
it doesn't even
Matter anymore.
But is it because of the likes that you're relevant? Does it automatically mean that you are loved and adored, or it's just generated? I don't even think they're organic.
I think it's generated. Of course, at the end of the day, you can buy followers, you can buy likes, you can do all that stuff. But the thing is, it's like, clearly, girl, you're more valuable than an egg, but people like trolling. You know, people like poking fun at people. I think the interesting thing is how committed people were, because the numbers, obviously for Kylie, were in the millions for likes and followers. But the egg, and literally the name for the egg is World Record Egg, if anyone wants to follow it, and it has 25 million likes, guys. I will never be as popular as this egg.
No, I'll never be that cool.
I'll never be as cool as this egg.
It makes me laugh because actually it makes me, you know, think through and just like how petty sometimes things can be for someone who's so famous. Like, you know, you'll be surprised. Like the most famous people always look at the most nitty-gritty things that affect them, and you'll be thinking like, child.
First of all, when she's talking about it, I remember her social media. First time I met Pam, guys, I'm just gonna put it out there. I was like, So I was studying her, observing her, and I was like, she's pretty cool and very interesting and intense. So I'm gonna go on her social media. So it's one of those things firsthand that people do, and nowadays it is necessary, especially in product placement and endorsement. People want to go and check you out and see what else you do, what else you're about, what are you selling? Is it the real person or is the person over there? But I'm going to confirm right now, Glamour Pam is exactly what you see. Like she's intense,
She's what
and
you
there's
get.
many things there. I do not even go to her social media after 7. It's PG. But I love her. I love her. But the egg is not about the egg, guys.
True.
It's not about the egg.
I think the moral of the story isn't really to equate yourself to Kylie Jenner or any of the Kardashians or an egg. It's just sort of focus on your own hustle, because at the end of the day, no matter how far you are, someone might even bring you down. So you just got to focus on yourself, where you're going in life. I saw a meme the other day was like, oh, you know, people who carry their water bottles around think they're all that. And someone was like, this just goes to show that if you mind your own business and drink water, you're still going to get judged, y'all, okay? Someone will still literally throw an egg on your face, people.
Yeah, but this is interesting that it was an egg. It could have been any other thing. But yeah, I'm going to be following that just to see what the fuss is about.
You're going to follow the egg?
Nice and shiny, nice and shiny. I'm going to be following that. Well, in the meantime, you can follow us on social media on every single platform. We are at the hashtag Ebru Let's Talk. That's Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. That's where you need to be.
So we're going to take it to a different story, and this is something both lighthearted and a little heavy. As we all know the events of yesterday, famous gospel singer Willie Paul claims to have been not involved in the attacks, but a victim of the attacks, saying that he was having a meeting at Dusit Hotel. Now, obviously, it might be too soon for some people to take light of this, but unfortunately, Willie Paul, because of his reputation, has come under attack with people on Twitter saying that he's faking it, saying that he should have left his music in that hotel, just coming after him in sort of ways. personally, I feel like it's in poor taste. But it would be in poor taste if he was actually lying. What do you guys think?
I don't know. It's 50-50 to this. If he was really there, then God really loves him because thank God he's alive. We could be talking a different story right now. But if he's making it up, then that sucks a lot. I mean, really and truly. But the truth will always come out regardless. So I just feel like if he was in there and he was having a meeting, I mean, a lot of people. I'm always there personally. I'm always there. I even did a documentary there. I'm always there with my massages, doing swimming pool there, meetings, so anyone could have been there. So if he was there.
Yeah. I was actually on Riverside yesterday morning. I missed it by a few hours, thankfully. My husband and I had our little honeymoon there kind of thing, just a little getaway. So I feel like Doucet is like, not necessarily like a pillar in the community, but everyone knows it.
Yeah.
And the thing about Willie Paul is he is grappling with this idea that he's a gospel singer and he's held to a very different standard, but I think he kind of likes being in the media for kind of the wrong reasons. So if you're going to lie about something like this, it's just going to be in poor taste for people. But also, if you're going to come on Twitter and attack, it's also like, okay, guys, how far are we really going to take this
Willie
thing?
Paul can do nothing right, can he?
Kind of.
I'm like, give the guy a break.
Right.
We should be on our knees and saying, thank God he's alive,
Yeah,
whatever the
thank God
case.
more people didn't die.
Whatever the case. But I look at Willie Paul and I think he's the king of the circus. He's funny to me, and he's always
the ringleader a little bit.
He's kind of like the egg, with the likes
He's
and
like
everything.
the egg.
Yeah, so it's a delicate conversation, and this is going to be squarely upon him. If indeed you are making a story like that, Willie Paul fans, you get to know him a little bit more. Like he's, but if he was there and he got saved and, he can verify that story, you know what? We need to leave it at that. Because this is not the last you're going to see of Willie Paul on social media. He always has something to do and something to say.
Always has something to say. Right, we're going to move on to the next topic. As you all know, we previously spoke about the lightning skin, which was banned in Zimbabwe.
Rwanda.
And, is it?
It's Rwanda. They're trying to do the laws.
Rwanda recently, they decided to just,
Yeah, but you're not wrong. Everywhere hates it.
But obviously, our girl Brigitte Chieng, we spoke about it. She's, it's not something that people don't know about. She clearly talks about it on national television and on media that she has light in her skin and she will not turn the clock back. So now we have her skin lightening. Brigitte Chieng finally releases skin lightening skin products for other slay queens, and she clearly says it here. I mean, we all know. I have mixed emotions about this because, I mean, I can't be a hypocrite because if you want to change your skin and you want to do everything, that's up to you. That's down to you. I can't say anything about that. But we have been informed severally, by the government and dermatologists how, skin lightening can affect your skin if you're not sure and if you're not aware of the allergies and how dangerous the science is. And I mean, they even say it can cause skin cancer to some extent. But she has launched her own beauty product, which is Skin Light, and she says it even here clearly that she was not feeling beautiful herself until she lightened her skin. I mean, that is personal to her. If I compare herself with myself, I would say I'm naturally beautiful and I love my skin, but that's what I'm comfortable with. Yeah. She's comfortable with her skin lightening. Yeah. And she even says that she will encourage girls to go and buy the bleaching skin and bleach their skin. So I really don't understand.
She's pregnant, right?
Yes.
So hopefully, number one, I hope she's not doing it now, number one. Number two, a couple questions. Let me start with the first one. Do you think it's okay for her to do this like in the frame of she's trying to earn money for her kid, she's got a baby on the way, she's feeling, pressure like, okay, I got to make this money somehow, what's going to sell? Bleach kind of thing?
But let me tell you, in quotes, she actually said it. I would advise any girl to bleach.
Oh. See, that's just like the nail in the coffin,
I get really frustrated with statements that cannot be backed up. I'm the kind of person, if you want me to get on top of this table, but I shall not. But if you want me to get on top of this table, you have to tell me why.
True.
You understand that?
I
am okay with her doing whatever it is she wants to do with her life.
As long as she's comfortable with it.
To tell other young women that you need this in your life, and that's a venture she wants to take, I think that is out of taste.
True.
There's a lot of people out there who are not going to take their time to research the side effects and the impact of what this is. But one thing I know she's played really smartly, but of course it's not going to be, it's going to be negative in the long run.
Yeah.
She knows the influence that she has. She knows the impact that she brings. She does, you know, every woman has their own kind of thing. So there are women who look up to her. I mean, there's that bracket. And to them, whatever she says is what goes. But she recently had a documentary and she was talking about, you know, the things that she gets and the stuff that, you know, she enjoys and stuff like that. In a young mind that's impressionable, this could actually mean, oh, the lighter that I am, the thicker that I am, whatever I am right now is not enough. I need to get this cream. I need to do this and this, which I find for selfish gain.
Yeah.
If it is for selfish gain, Bridget, I mean, enough. What I want to see stop in 2019 is a lot of these people that, you know, are not qualified enough to be in merchandising, getting the platform and the opportunities to influence young people. Because this particular thing, especially when it comes to, and the wave is coming, where it's going to get banned, this is not, it's not progressive.
True.
And I always say that, you know, everybody knows I've got my enhancement, but I always say do not do anything until you have consulted your surgeon, your doctor, do your researches. I did research for over 3 years. And not only did I just do it on one clinic, I did it severally internationally and in abroad as well. So if someone is going to go into it, just because I did it and I got away with it, it doesn't mean you're going to go away. And this is why we're having incidents of even death coming into it, because people are following
and not
social
informed
life
and not informed.
And you see, even with her cream, you know, it's not exactly cheap, because it says here that she claims she used 3 million to enhance her
3 million
skin.
Uganda shillings, about 3 million is okay.
It's 3 million.
Because we need to
shillings.
clarify.
And Vera Sidika used 50 million.
3 million
to
and 50 million
enhance her
anything.
skin. So if we're going to be using these figures, how are the young generation going to?
How much are you willing
I just
to
have
spend?
one last
You
thing.
know? How
I just
much
have
are you
one
willing
last
to
thing to
spend?
tell Bridget. I hope you can do the 10-year challenge.
Oh, she did. Actually, someone.
I hope you can.
It's here.
It's here somewhere.
Oh,
You know,
there's a-
but
oh.
here's my question.
So later
gonna
on, we must
we're
throw in
gonna
ours
do-
too. But oh my God, she did?
Yeah, I mean,
Oh
a
my
lot of
goodness.
celebrities are
Well,
doing it.
No, but she's using the ting right now.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
We're going to see how many shades of change she's gone through. I just realized something at the beginning of this conversation, though, right? So you know how white people like me, I know, right? Shade. The shades of it all, guys.
The shades of it all.
But you know how white people, not like me, because I've never done it, but you can get a spray tan, right? We can spray ourselves darker. My question is what if there was a spray paler? What if I could spray myself paler? Do you think people would support it?
Yes, I think
people
they
would go for it.
I think they would.
Because I feel like if you're gonna be a trailblazer like how you are, and if anybody takes my idea, it's on record right here, live TV, that I thought of it. But if anyone's gonna do a spray lightning, why not go and invest that instead of hurt your people? You know, why hurt your fan base?
Sweetheart, I want to emphasize one point. I am not going to sit here and tell an adult to do a certain thing the way they want to do it. I cannot go back in time and hug Bridget. You know, I don't know how to do that. I don't know why she's doing what she's doing. But she's an adult. My issue is using your platform for selfish gain to influence young people, because we are at a place where we can't filter that. Kids are seeing it. I recently bumped into, you know, images of one of my nieces. I've got many. And I found her absolutely unrecognizable, because she's in that phase where we've got that Western influence. You know, your role model is a Caucasian woman. The role models you're supposed to have within, you know, what woman of our bracket, you know, of our age, we can say, okay, this is the woman I want to be like. Is she chocolate skin? Chocolate skin like your mother, chocolate skin like your sister, your auntie. I want our young sisters and our daughters to make those decisions themselves. I'm raising 2 girls, it's not funny. So that's why, to me, I feel like I wouldn't want someone to impact my daughter's life in that way when she's still immature enough. She's still very immature.
She's impressionable.
To make that decision. But if Bridget wants to go do her thing,
but this
go do your thing.
This is why she's saying she's doing her thing. Quotes. She says, "From I was a little kid, I've never felt beautiful. I've never felt loved. My mom never told me she loved me. So I honestly always feel like every time I was around people who are light-skinned, they'll always get more attention than I would. I don't regret anything, and I would not turn the clock back. I would do it again."
You see,
she
but
confessed.
Being light,
hug your kids.
being light is not going to
So I
bring
think
your mother's
another
love back.
Another issue with this, sorry to interrupt, is that I feel like, okay, apart from what her story, I feel in general, we need to support our young ones from baby. You need to tell them consistently, because how I am today is how I was inflicted from young age.
Yeah.
My mom always used to tell me I was confident, I was able to do it. If I fail, get up and try it again. If I couldn't do anything and I told her, Mommy, I couldn't do it, she'd say, no, you can do it. It's in your mind. Go and do it. But then it's better if you hear it from your family, people who love you, from your mother and dad. If they keep giving you this support, if they keep telling you how much you're important, and if you keep growing up knowing that, naturally, you will grow feeling that. You'll feel loved, you'll feel confident, you'll feel secured. Do you know what I mean? So the problem also does come from our generation, our family. And I feel like nowadays we have our parents have too much pressure on like keeping up on the bills, paying the rent, and keeping everything on point, making the family happy, that we don't have time for our children. We don't have
and
time
even
for
before
siblings.
you read that, you know, her quote, it's the thing I was saying. Hug them.
Yeah.
And it's a metaphor for whatever it is you need to
Tell
instill,
them you
to
love them.
equip them for whatever is out there. Because out there is social media, which is now a marketplace. You don't want to look for certain things, but they're right there. Kids got phones, things are happening. Somebody right
Can't
there,
control
just
every
because
bit.
it's well marketed and well packaged, someone is going to think that they need it. And they'll think that they need it to advance in life, to be someone in life. It is not necessary. That's why, to me, I find this, in one word, selfish. I think it's wrong because you've got your untied strings, you've got your own damage, you've got your own issues which you need to address and fix, but it's a ripple effect.
Yeah,
It's a ripple effect because now another person will think that they need it, and another person will think that they need it. And a lot of people watching us right now, whether you're from Uganda or you're from Tanzania or Burundi, everyone had an aunt somewhere. Or something that you heard, and you know that they probably, you know, used a little something, you know? It's a generational thing, but the conversation must change.
Yeah.
The conversation must change. That's why it's difficult for me to sit here and say, wow, good on you, girl.
Yeah.
We don't want to twist girls doing big, girls enterprising, and girls are doing
not all
also-
business is good business.
Not all business is good business. Understand what it is. Educate people and let people make a choice.
Yeah.
Especially young women who are confused right now. Especially this particular issue, which is becoming a problem.
Yeah.
You know, there was a time, you know, before a show like this, you wouldn't find girls like us.
Yeah.
True.
It would not even be possible.
Do you know, it's even funny because little girls, most of the time, they're just, when you go and buy them dolls, the doll they look like is the blonde doll.
Yeah, you have
blue eyes, blonde
the
hair.
quintessential Barbie doll.
And if you try to encourage them to take that, because nowadays they start having a lot of the black dolls, you know, even in London they have loads of the black dolls, but you'll still find the mentality of the child is like, I want that blonde one. I want the Barbie girl, the blonde hair, the blue eyes. This is what,
in a kid.
you know. So it's the tradition and the generation is changing, but I think it can also change if we consistently support and encourage our children to like tell them, look, you're beautiful the way you are. You can play with the black doll. That black doll is just like you.
But I do have a question.
Yeah.
Sometimes we cannot really say we're fully present where our children are.
Yeah.
You know,
I
when they're
agree.
goobers, that's different. But then they get to grow up, and then I can't really say what they're looking at, what they're seeing, what
You
they're
can't
what they're
control
exposed
every
to.
aspect.
My question would be, do you think if Kenya took that step, of course, you know, there's a diversity of people and women in this particular country. Do you think Kenya would take that step, and would it be realized to see that, you know what, it's not in the markets? Even if a campaign like this by Bridget would, you know, be on, it's not available. She's not allowed, you know, to influence children or to sell products that may harm young children. Do you think Kenya would have a campaign like that?
I
that
think
would fly?
at the end of the day, what really we have to ask ourselves when we see the campaigns like this, when you see all of this stuff, you want to go back and like, oh, I don't want to knock anyone's hustle, I don't want to do that, but you have to ask yourself, what side of history do I have to be on? Because it's like the paper bags, for example. Kenya has decided, we're going to be on this side of history. We're going to make a stand for this.
Regardless of who, you know.
Regardless of whoever. So if we're going to make a stand for like young people are going to feel good about themselves, then it's got to be about, okay, what side of history do we want to be on in regards to this?
I like that question. You can get in on the conversation as well. We've got more, including that 10-year challenge. We're going to be throwing that out there. You can share yours too using the hashtag #IbroLet'sTalk. We'll be right back after the break.
Let's talk. Come and take a seat, girl. This is what you need. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Come and take a seat, girl. This is what you need. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk. Let's talk.
Welcome back, and shout out to you if you're watching for the very first time. But the regulars, karibu sana, as usual. You know we always have tea. It's been quite a week, especially, you know, back to work and everything. And so many things have happened. If you have been glued on the internet and, of course, Kenyan TV screens, then you do know that it's been tough. you know, emotionally, just dealing with a lot of things after the Riverside Drive attack. Terrorist attacks across Eastern Africa. Of course, the memory of such an incident happening and the anniversary of an attack, similar attack. A lot of conversations have been going around on this. But the one thing that stood out is definitely how much Kenyans remembered that we are all brothers and sisters. I like to say we because Kenya's my second home. Like, I'm that girl. I'm that girl.
I can feel you on that.
Girl.
I can feel you on that.
You know, and it was one of the hardest days for me, deciding whether I want to follow and track the updates or switch off and just close my eyes and wait for this to go by. So we did have a lot of people who chose to deal with it differently. Some people wanted to be on a hashtag. Other people wanted their TVs on. Shout out to the crew here at Ebru TV who made sure that you were updated 24/7. So, guys, we would just want to start off and applaud some of the people that stood out during this time. I know the number one hero is the person who was caught up in this particular exchange, in whatever this was, the cruelty of it all, you know. Those are the people, the first heroes at first, you know, the people who had to experience such a thing. And not the response team, but you know, the victims of the attack.
Survivors of the
victims of the attack, just to be in that crossfire. You are a hero. You're one of the people we want to applaud this evening. It was hard enough doing this show, you know. Thinking about, okay, I'm not really 100%, but you know what, we have to get out there and encourage each other. One of the posts that stood out for me, I'll paraphrase, was get out there, have your flags out, and be patriotic about this entire thing, because that confuses a lot of people, especially when you're supposed to be a coward and pull back. So we do have some images here. I know Mama Chai, that's what people were calling her.
Yes, who is
one
helping.
of those women that are definitely going to be one of the people we'll remember doing this. I like this one. It says unbowed.
Unbent, unbroken.
Unbent, unbroken, beautiful. It's just amazing. Just to see that Kenyan flag, it's quite something. We do have another one here. Dana,
to our men in uniform, paramedics, and every other person who played a role in trying to ease the situation following the Dusit Hotel attack, I salute and appreciate you. May the God Lord redeem you. Intense. It's an intense conversation. Obviously, we weren't going to be the only people who didn't talk about it. We weren't going to be the only people who, like all of you, feeling like we weren't concerned for it, especially because, I mean, from my personal self, I remember being young during the attacks of 9/11 in the States. I remember coming here and dealing with Westgate and sitting with my landlady up in her house, and we're all, you know, it's so great because you're right, Kenya comes together in a situation like this. Even for someone like me who is a foreigner. She brought me into her house. We all sat on her couch watching the news. She fed me. She fed my sister. You know, we had chai and we came together for it. It wasn't people were locking each other out. It wasn't people were leaving each other behind. It was, you know, create a phone tree, call your people, see what's happening. And then Garissa happened, which was far away. And now all of us are here with this, and we have the memory so at the forefront of our minds. But seeing all these photos and seeing all these people, you're right. The only thing that's being achieved now for society is coming together. I don't think anyone feels broken. I don't think anyone feels defeated. More, we're just, I don't want to say enraged, you know, but we're emotional. We're still really raw with it.
It is fresh and emotional.
It's raw.
And our heart goes out to anyone who was injured, hurt, family members,
anything,
wife, husband, children. Please, you know, we feel for you, because no one can tell you how you feel unless you are. These are experiences that you can't experience the feeling of, you know, the trauma of what you're seeing and how you, because you're literally there. It's heartbreaking, and our condolences goes to anybody who lost anyone. And we shout out and we show you our love and we pray for you, and we are all united and we're here for you. If there's any way we can support, we ask you to, you know, join us on Ebru hashtag Let's Talk. And as you can see, we're sharing this moment to show you how important this is, even though we are not related immediately, but it shows you how we're united one as Kenya.
Absolutely.
And there's images on the screen here that are reflective of what was one of the goriest 24 hours. You know, it's about exactly a couple of hours, about 24 hours since this happened. There's respondents there, multi-agencies, you know, responding to whatever this was is, you know, faces that are familiar with this. Some of us heard gunshots. My daughter was coming from school. It was terrifying. Just to, you know, imagine her being caught up in something like that.
And even explain that.
Exactly. Just to disrupt the normalcy of someone's day, that in itself can throw you off. Everybody's definitely empathetic about this. And we also want to applaud AAR and, of course, some of the people that were not even well dressed or ready or
prepared in
any way to be part of something like this. A lot of people brought about the conversation on different channels about disaster preparedness.
Yes,
I must applaud you know, the Kenyan agencies and, you know, the collaborative teams that were there as well, compared to previous attacks, how things have sort of improved, filtering of information on media, the people that, you know, were sensitive about sharing images on different platforms. We started off the show talking about the power of social media. And in this particular case, it could have done more harm than good. People really were sensitive in a way, you know. I think more than anything, there was sensitivity, there was heart, there was soul, there was patience.
Absolutely.
There was patience. I think I just came across a couple of tweets of they should have done this, they should have done that. And I felt so bad because it made me feel like
so
you are
easy to say
tweeting
that.
this in the comfort of whatever it is that you are.
And the protection that you've been granted.
Exactly. So, I mean, there were many aspects to this. And it made me kind of think of the gift of life and how you wake up in the morning and say things like, I'll call you later, see you in the evening.
Very true.
And things like
we
that.
should hang out sometime.
Yes, I'll call you, you know, or I'll see you next month.
I'll get back to you, absolutely.
There's many ways to look at this. But for me, what stood out was the urgency of life and how everything is fleeting and temporary. I saw people waiting for their loved ones just to see their faces. Dead or alive, just to see their faces and just to know that, you know, I'm here for you. It made me kind of think about how it just threw me off, you know.
Right, it's hard to articulate, especially because as like an immigrant, you know, it's funny, people, you know, you don't think of a white person calling, but as an immigrant, I'm here because I specifically love Kenya. I didn't go anywhere else. I didn't choose anywhere else because I love here. And as I go over time, what I really see is solidarity in like leaps and bounds. Because of course, people will always critique. People will critique the government. People will critique the response. But at the end of the day, solidarity is something that I feel in every Kenyan. You know, of course, we have things like, you remember post-election violence. You remember the things. And even the point of terrorism is divisiveness. It's to pit each other against each other. But at the end of the day, things like this, because we've grown through other tragedies, has allowed us to respond in such a way where I haven't seen anyone being divisive. I haven't seen anyone posting xenophobia.
But then again, terrorism is designed. It's designed to divide.
It is. It's designed.
And to kind of cripple development and to, you know, make the situation unstable.
Terrorism.
But what I love that people are doing, you come from the UK, you come from the States, to see how Kenyans are carrying themselves during this time. There's a lot to learn from other countries. Have a lot to learn. I did see one person get trolled by Kenyans on Twitter, you know, just trying to portray Kenya in a way that Kenyans were not very happy with. So it's one of those things where Kenyans are leading from the front. You will learn to respect Kenya. You're going to treat Kenya this way. If you're going to talk about it, if you're going to report, and your agenda is to make sure that people get the information, it shouldn't be biased or, you know, sprinkled with a little low-key shade. Like, you're not going to do that. So those are some of the things when the president made a statement that he was happy about. We did have a couple of people who showed solidarity and sent messages of hope to bereaved families. And of course, the authorities were applauded. The statement was out earlier on today, kind of gave a sense of calm.
Absolutely.
I must admit, I was one of those people who was really terrified because everybody was calling. My cousin works on the road, just at the junction before you introduce it, and we couldn't get hold of him. And I mean, we were trying to tell all his friends and family, don't call him, text him, because he could be hiding somewhere, and then you're calling him, and then he could be the next victim. So we were terrified. We didn't hear from him for ages. We didn't even know what was going on, you know, that panic mode. So I experienced that. So I can't imagine for those people who are literally in the heat of it.
Absolutely.
You know?
And y'all, for the sake of my father, who will eventually see this episode, he actually has a military background, yeah? And it's funny that you talk about the value of life and being blessed and all that. His first response was preparedness. His first response was, okay, you know, you're waking up for work the next day. What are you going to bring? Just so y'all know, I have a first aid kit that can literally take care of gunshot wounds. Okay, if anything would have happened, he from a very young age was like, you need to prepare yourself for life because he's seen the worst aspects of it. And so obviously, I would never endorse someone, a civilian, going out, you know, into the heat of things. But the great thing, and I love that this is the photo that's up, is because this woman, as a civilian, was like, what can I do?
In her own way.
Yeah, in her own way, what can I do to help? Because something as simple as water, something as simple as food, something as simple as shelter is what not only brings a community together, but it's how society supports itself. Because, I mean, if you're not going to carry, you know, first aid kit with a gunshot, you know, wound in it, then this is how you're going to do it. You're going to carry extra water. You're going to carry extra blankets. You're going to, and I'm telling you both this. I'm not saying you'll have a problem. I don't want to call anyone out. You're going to keep your phone charged.
Yes, please.
Okay?
Okay.
You're going to keep your phone charged.
A little bit.
I like
a
that.
little bit more cautious.
You know,
you're going to be
what
cautious.
what I like about this is that the things we take for granted is this is the time you realize how important and how urgent it is. Like what she's just doing what she normally is good at doing, and it's helped, and it came as so much comfort, so much love, so much support. You know, it's amazing. And for me, with all that being said, it just made me realize and appreciate life and don't take life for granted.
Absolutely. And I like that, you know, what some of the people were subconsciously doing was flooding the internet and all these platforms with images that would sort of kind of give closure to a lot of people, because if you see an image like this and you see her out there trying to do something good, it kind of gives you that confidence that, you know what, we're on the right track, we did the best we could, this is the best way to approach this moving forward. But speaking of which, there's something I thought we should talk about, especially if we're talking about this in a reactionary way. Someone brought up the conversation of Nyumba Kumi a couple of years ago. I think it was about 6-7 years ago. It was all about an initiative which had that catchy phrase, Nyumba Kumi, where you have to know your neighbor, where you have to be, you know, a bit more concerned. You have to be nosy, so to speak. You have to know, you know,
situational awareness.
Why is that car parked there? Why is this happening like this? I'm bringing this to you, Dana, because the balance is you don't want to profile people. But at the same time, you want to be nosy, because I think the balance should not. The balance should be, I want to know what's around me without discriminating people.
Absolutely.
So I just want to throw it out there before, you know, you can contribute, is do not look at a certain community or a certain, you know,
background,
and assume this person looks kind of suspicious. So I was thinking, how do you guys do it? Do you guys have like a committee in your neighborhood? Are you involved with, you know, different kinds of setups in your area? How well do you know your area?
So, I mean, where I specifically live now, I mean, we're just kind of working on a prayer. But back in the States, but I do know that there are initiatives like that in the States, not anywhere that I've lived, but there's like a neighborhood watch kind of thing. I do think that you're right. There is a fine line to walk between profiling and racism, essentially, and safety and community policing. I think at the end of the day, we have to work from this place of this person isn't suspicious because of their color. This person is suspicious because, you know, it's 2 a.m. and they're taking a walk. Or it's like, this person has been circling my house a lot. Because it's never, it shouldn't be about who you're watching. It's about what they're doing. You know, because it's not this singular person is someone to be afraid of. It's what they're doing is to be afraid of. I'm not afraid of Pam in any way, shape, or form. I would be afraid of Pam if she was angry and had a gun. Like, I'm not afraid of Pam, I'm afraid of guns, you know? It's all about it's all about the action around them. I'm not gonna walk past a certain person and be like, oh, they seem out of place, because look at me, I'm out of place. You know, you have to be like, oh, Dana's acting a damn fool. What is she doing here? It's all about the situation and the environment, not the person.
Well, it's the opposite to me, kind of. In
like
where I live,
foreign.
where I live in London. I know, okay, I'm foreign, but where I live in London, the neighbor where I live in, we communicate with each other. We actually have each other's numbers, you know, opposite, across, right next to. And we always communicate, because we've had once bitten, twice shy. And one of our neighbors were, you know, they got an attack and they lost a lot. So since then, we've always been under the alert. Apart from that, I must say our government to do with like ambulance and police are on point. You have to just call 911. Even
the benefits of the West.
Yeah, it's the benefit. I swear to you, I can vouch on them. And kudos to them. And I hope and believe that our country will reach there at some point and someday. But there is no way you can be attacked and someone even take your phone and get rid of it and you'll still be stuck. As soon as you just dial that number, they would know your address, they would know where you're coming. Within 5 minutes, they're there.
Yeah.
So,
speaking of which, I think I like the issue of response.
Yeah.
Because we may
amazing.
say, you know, yes, we have Nyumbakumi in our hood. We're doing this. I know everyone on my block. There's a suspicious guy. He's been lurking around. But what about response?
This is my issue.
To critique positively would be, these are some of the little things a lot of people would feel more secure.
Yeah.
You know, I would feel more secure if I know that this number actually works.
Yeah.
There's a toll number, not because of an incident, not because there was an attack, but generally. If anything, if there was a cat up the tree, someone could actually respond and come to this particular neighborhood.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's a good thing that you mentioned that, because actually, it's funny that I said I was afraid of guns, because I'm not. I've actually was raised around guns. I have a firearms card back in the States. And so it's interesting to talk about knowing your neighbor and knowing all of that stuff but that's even relates back to like the situation. Because I remember it used to be a joke in the States, because the States doesn't take gun violence very seriously, is an armed society is a polite society, and it's not really the case. You know, it's not the case. A polite society is a society where all the civilians' needs are met. You know, if I feel safe and catered to in my community, I'm not necessarily going to feel like I need to go out and do something. I'm not going to feel like, you know, I should be threatening or I'm under a threat.
But I think both of you are saying the same thing.
Yes, we are.
Without using the same word. But I also want to just be very careful to not put the security teams and the agencies, the policemen down. They really did a fantastic job in terms of response.
Oh, yeah.
Especially if you were in the vicinity and you could see the swiftness. Literally, you could see how they controlled the traffic, how they managed the situation, anybody who was incoming, how they directed that back, make sure you don't come this way, because there's a lot of confusion in that time.
It could have been another Westgate,
I must say,
but it wasn't.
Exactly, I was just about to say that. I must say, I've not been here since any of those has ever happened, so this was my first experience, and I did actually ask a few questions, like I had some questions in the back of my mind, which I did air it out. But then I had one of my fans who actually got back to me and said, actually, since the Westgate, our team and the security and the policemen have actually improved, dramatically. And it's just, it can show, you can see the difference, and you can see the quick reaction in what they've done. So that kind of made me pull back and think, oh, okay, there is some kind of improvement. So we must applaud them, because this is also their lives. They also have family members. They also, they've taken this action to protect our country and protect the people civilians who are actually involved in it. So I did.
And I like that we've emphasized that, because sometimes some people are always watching these shows or strolling on these Twitter streets just to see what's not working. We're saying things went pretty well. We're grateful to be here, and it's time to have a little bit of fun.
It's definitely time to fun. We're talking about improvement over time, right? We're talking about going from one place to the
Absolutely.
other. What better way to commemorate that and leave us on a light note than the 10-year challenge? We're going to get right into it. I don't know whose picture they're going to show first.
Don't show mine.
So please, you guys, please don't actually get on the hashtag Let's Talk and tell me how ugly I was as a child, because I was a very late bloomer.
Why would you put a disclaimer out like that?
Because,
wait, is this?
Is that, wait. Is that Akose?
Yes.
That's Akose.
Oh my goodness, Kalechi Muma looks pretty fine.
Ooh. You guys can. The glow up though was real.
This looks really good.
The glow up on people was absolutely phenomenal.
I think some people are aging backwards because
oh my.
Oh, this is more
inspirational,
because I think if you're seeing change in the 10 years, then you know you've done something.
I think this
good.
is more
inspirational.
It is. It's very inspirational.
I think it was.
But this is still making a difference. I'm talking about ugly teens. Wow. I'm sorry. I don't believe you. I don't believe you, Chipu.
Oh my God, I love these.
I don't believe you. I want to see the real little 12-year-old Chipukizi.
To be honest, initially I wasn't up for this challenge.
I wasn't up either.
I said to myself, is this some data mining? Are they trying to do something to us?
Some facial recognition.
Why are they collecting all these things? Because I'm paranoid like that. But then I got to see a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
And everybody that I know was up to, putting
everybody
up pictures.
had fun with it.
Yeah. Wow.
Y'all, again.
This is Lulu Hassan and her husband.
Wow.
I'm telling you.
Can we just really commemorate the quality of cameras that has improved?
That too.
Okay?
Yes. That too. And I think it's also kind of sweet the fact that it's 10 years and it's a couple. Like, those ones really got
That's
me.
really, I like
Those
that.
are cute. Those are very cute.
I was passionate about those actually.
Yeah, the
I
couple
was just-
ones.
Yeah.
The couple ones, absolutely.
Motivating.
It looks like the top one has like a terrible filter on it. You
But I
guys.
didn't even have pictures of myself 10 years ago. I had to ask someone to send me.
I had
I
to
found-
research as well.
Yeah, I had to.
10 years ago is exactly when I joined Facebook. So you guys got the very first Facebook photo.
Oh, this is so like
She looks
doesn't-
great in both photos.
She doesn't even.
Doesn't change though.
Y'all don't
She just
age.
looks-
I don't understand.
Just the hair looks different.
No, we need
The
to know
body's the
about
same.
now the secrets. You
Right?
know, people after this
I
are going to
want
share their
skincare
secrets
routine.
and tell us what they really do.
Yes. I want skincare routines, people.
Oh, this looks great.
She looks absolutely fantastic.
All right.
Also, she's gotten a nicer top within the 10 years.
Oh, she looks great.
Love the blouse.
Especially the early 2000s.
Oh, look.
Had this thing. The early 2000s had a brow.
That
was
Did you
rough.
notice the skinny brow?
That was rough.
Every person
Yeah.
had the skinny brow
Yes.
in the early 2000s.
Yes,
I hated
I had one.
And you know what? I never had a skinny brow, y'all.
I did.
I grew up with like Frida brows, okay?
Oh
I'm
my
just,
gosh,
I'm just
mono
lucky
brow.
I didn't have a unibrow.
But you know the
did.
funny thing
I had the
is
skinny
how
one.
how some people, yes, they may look different, but it's just the makeup techniques,
Mm-hmm.
the different kind of cameras.
Yeah.
Back in the day, I think some of these phone companies never really took our skin tone seriously.
No.
Yeah.
And you know, earlier on we were talking about the bleaching, but people now, I think it's just phones have really indeed gotten smarter.
my
Yeah,
and
definitely.
they understand
And
complexions.
the filters.
And the filters and everything. So those things weren't there. First of all, Janet and Akothe, what do y'all do? Your bodies are just exactly
Yeah,
right.
Right,
even
after
she.
baby.
I mean, I thought they look so amazing.
She looks
Look,
just the way
I
she
want a
always
flat
does.
tummy
Yeah.
like that. She looks so good.
Right, I'm trying. Oh, God.
Oh, here we are.
I'm so
You
happy.
look
Can I
good,
just say
though.
that I'm so happy
That
that I
is
didn't
you.
do a
That is
full
look
body?
good.
What is wrong with this photo?
But actually, look at the 10
Y'all,
years after. You look
puberty,
amazing.
Puberty hit me like a brick.
What was
y'all.
going on when you took this picture?
Bad hair. As you can see, I always had the thick brows. But you know the thing is, it's like how puberty hit me was like, I mean, I'm not big on top. I'm just gonna be real. So I looked like a box on top of a yoga ball, y'all. I did not develop evenly. Like it's cool that I think I'm funny. So I think maybe I just got by.
Well, I think you're pretty. I think you're
Yeah.
pretty.
Thank you. I think
plus, I think-
definitely think that I don't look different though. I
No,
think
you
it's
don't.
cool that it's like you can
But-
still see how I grew into that.
Can you see that what I must stress is like everyone looks different without makeup.
Absolutely.
So that when you're that
Absolutely.
young, you don't have makeup. So when
Yeah.
you're grown and mature and you're, you know, voluptuous and you're looking delicious, then you know your makeup also is on point and you're looking a lady.
Absolutely. I
So-
made very clear here that
Yeah.
I was gonna do an extreme glow up photo.
No, you look
So
amazing.
I wasn't gonna post like a no makeup photo.
I like that. It looks like you. Oh, that is
Oh, there you
nice.
are.
Oh,
there you
you
are.
look amazing.
So
That is me.
So that
Yeah.
is like post marriage, yeah.
You
That's
look
like
good, though.
Monique with her single self, like
I don't
you
know if I
know,
was single, but I could edit it out. But it wasn't, you know, good.
Oh.
But I was at my friend's graduation at this time, and it was I love those white pants. Oh, those
You
were
look
my
good.
those were
You're
my
wearing
Obamas
them.
downstairs. You need to come
Oh.
down. What am I gonna
So
wear?
those were like
those were
the
the
pants.
wow.
I love those.
I
pants.
don't
I
think
think-
I've ever owned white pants.
Yeah, I love.
These were
I
like
have loads,
nice linen
loads.
flowy pants. I was always a
Oh.
lady kinda, and I liked the braids back in the day,
Yeah.
like long braids. The
There's
skinny
always,
brow.
there's
the
always,
skinny brow.
there's always
You're
exactly.
right.
There's
I'm
always,
seeing a skinny brow.
there's always an outfit that someone likes that you always just, it's always there. Like
Oh,
you,
yeah.
you know, when you want to go out somewhere or do something, you're just thinking of that. Like, oh, should I
Yeah.
wear
Can
it
I
again?
also just say, Monique, I'm excited to see what you're gonna look like when you're very old. In
Because
the
you
sense
look
that
good.
your cheekbones are
Amazing.
the craziest cheekbones I've ever seen.
I'm not gonna be Dana about this.
Oh my goodness.
You look
The
great.
skinny eyebrows.
Skinny
oh,
eyebrows,
and
circa
don't
20.
forget the
First of
Somali
all-
foreheads.
Oh my gosh, you look great. I
Listen.
have never seen your forehead.
Yeah, I always
That
try
is the
to hide my
forehead of your
forehead.
people, just
That's
like this is the nose of my people,
I
okay?
embrace it and I love
Yes.
it.
Like honestly, I think you are
Yeah.
gorgeous.
And
And I'm gonna
look at
say
the
this.
dimples.
I'm gonna say this because we
dimples
have
are
the
cute.
opportunity
Yes.
because of the challenge. Pam, the next challenge is gonna be the no makeup challenge.
Oh,
I want to see I think you are Like
I've
you're
been
gorgeous.
there with that makeup.
Like you're gorgeous.
Yeah, I hear that a lot. So I'm so
Were you
happy.
out
Thank
in
you.
the
You
town?
should hear that a lot.
Were you out in the town at this
Yes,
time when you were going out?
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Can I also just say, and I mean this in a nice way because
Skinny
I'm
brow?
jealous of
Skinny
it, not
brow?
the skinny brow.
Yeah.
I think your skin looks darker in the other photo, and I love it. I think that obviously you're beautiful in the other photo.
It's the
when you're
foundation.
young. You have like this caramel look, but I think that no, in your current photo, I love the way that your skin looks.
Nice.
I mean, I'm jelly. I love the way dark skin photographs. You know, I think that it's interesting to see your hair choice back then.
Dana,
I'm sorry, but like I love the way you look now.
Yeah.
You know, with the hair popping.
Yeah.
Like a little bit. Lydia got smaller as she aged.
Oh,
yo.
my goodness.
by the way,
Girl, we love
This
you.
looks like Lydia's sister.
I
Right.
swear.
I think of the
Literally.
four of us, this is the most
Dramatic
the most
change.
dramatic one
Dramatic
I've
change.
seen as well.
I love it. But I don't know. Looking back at all these pictures, sometimes I look at my older self and I'm like, I wish I could talk to her, you know? I wish I could tell her something.
Yeah.
And I was like, the positive thing about this challenge is, you know, it's all fun and games, you know, when we're laughing, whatever.
Yeah.
But what I would tell Monique then is, could you just relax? At the time,
girl, it's
I
gonna
had a
work.
lot of issues.
Yeah.
And that's what we were talking about earlier.
Likewise.
If a face cream was probably sold to you back then, before you knew who
would've got it.
you could have got
would've
it,
got
you
it.
know? I think I would tell the younger Monique that, you know, relax.
Yeah.
A
it
fine
easy.
man is gonna come and marry you one day, and you're gonna have 2 cute babies. I'll tell her relax. You know, have fun, take it easy. Don't
And
judge yourself too much.
One thing I'll tell.
What would you?
I would tell Glam that just leave your age.
Yes.
Take your time.
Oh my
and
gosh,
leave
you were
at-
those girls.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to do that, because
Yeah.
I'm the youngest in the family, and all my brothers and sisters used to do
no,
stuff, and
baby
I wasn't always
Pam.
allowed to do it.
Yeah.
So I was just like, well, I'm gonna, and I would be crying around.
Oh my God,
it.
that's
mom would be
exactly
like,
how I
yeah,
was.
and I'm like, I'm missing out.
Yeah.
But, you know what you need to know when you're young, enjoy your young age, because it is gonna pass by, and you're gonna live in the next generation,
Yeah.
and you're gonna wish that you did everything you did at
That's
the
some
young
good
age.
advice for young
That's
Pam.
exactly how I was too, watching my older sister. I made sure I did everything earlier in my life than she did. She got a tattoo at like 16. I started at 15, et cetera, et cetera. I think the only thing that I would say is it's like, girl, I cannot wait for your life.
Yeah.
Because that was before Kenya. That was before my husband. It was before anything. You're
Yeah.
going to have an amazing life, girl. Ah, we all going to have an amazing life.
That was all feels.
Nice.
But
All
before we get out of here, we need to shout out Lydia. She'll tell us when she
Yes.
gets here what she would tell her older self. You can also get in on the conversation using the hashtag #EbruLet'sTalk. And I missed this table. I love that we are here 3 times a week, okay? So tomorrow, same time, Kesho, make sure you're here, 6 p.m., okay? We've got tea and so much more. From us, it's good night. Be blessed.
See you then.
Come and take a seat, girl. This is what you need. Let's talk.
Oh my goodness, I would tell Monique. Oh, I
I like